Well, it looks like Obama's dropped a big hint that Ben Bernanke isn't going to be reinstated, and his term's going to be up at the end of this year, basically. And who's a big favorite to come into play for the Federal Reserve chairman is going to be Janet Yellen. This is her picture right here, and it's a very good representation of her being on the $50 bill because this thing's going to be worth like about $5. She's like a super dove. She makes Ben Bernanke, helicopter Ben, look like she's a fleet of helicopters. And you know what we're going to have to actually pay attention to in the future is other factors, because she's going to be one that she's concentrating not so much on inflation, but the jobs report. So what's going to happen in the future is you're going to have to look at the JOLTS report more than anything. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to watch very much, which is the job openings and labor market turnover survey data, which is released on Tuesdays. And she's not going to care. She's going to keep the interest rates really low. So basically, it's going to be a major easing policy. So that'll be 2014 at the very beginning. It's very likely she's, like in other words, they're talking about Timmy Geithner. She's going to be probably the one. So as we look today, the metals are decreasing, and well, except for platinum, but it's, I don't know how much of a hit you could say that is. It's not stupendous. The markets are going up, but oil's going up. Now, oil actually does generally follow the equities. This is the thing that's kind of weird. I want to talk about this a minute because here we are of representation of our economy. And this is how the American people think the economy is really flying. It's really strong. And basically, we're having a lot of fun, and we got the roller skates set up and the mini bike. But basically, the economy in the United States is not doing that good. It's not doing anywhere. It's not doing good anywhere. China's having a major slowdown. And that's one of the reasons you're seeing the problems with commodities across the board. But like I said, the solution is going to be more and more QE, devaluation of the currencies. And it is going to play out in the commodities and the precious metals. This one coming into being, Janet Yellen, is very likely to replace Ben Bernanke, and she's going to make Ben Bernanke look like, I don't know, a hawk. She's a real dove, okay? So, as things heat up, you're going to see a turnaround in metals. But I want to point out a few things about the economy in general as we sit here in the desert lighting up a stogie on the Harley. Just relax and just think about this. It's, if you look at some of the 101 basic economic factoids out there, like, for instance, the S&P is kind of a better judgment of what's going on in the entire economy, not without the influences of the Federal Reserve buying up stocks. But in general, if things are working the way they're supposed to be, the S&P actually kind of tells you what's going on in the economy. And actually, oil and the S&P run together because as there's more pressure on the economy, there's more pressure on energy. In other words, the economy's pumping out goods. There's a lot more requirements for energy, so oil goes up. But here we're looking at, oil here. It's going up. And the Dow's going up. You're seeing silver and not really doing much. It's going down a little bit. Palladium's down a little bit, and platinum is up slightly. But you would think a lot of the metals should be moving up. And actually what's going on overall is that the metals and commodities, and especially copper, has been dropping in the last couple of years. See, that's the real major factor of what's going on in the economy. And that's actually affecting silver, because silver is an industrial metal. The thing is with silver can throw you 50 million curveballs. It's anybody's guess where it's going to go to. I'm neither in the camp of silver dropping its value in half or exploding up to $100 inside of no time. I'm in either camp. I don't think it's going to make that many waves one way or the other. So it's basically more of a longer-term hold for the ultimate financial implosion that we're definitely going to have. So, one of the things you got to stay with is actually the real world, and that is Harley-Davidson and your stogies that you light up. You know what I'm talking about? Because people tend to get too much into the numbers in the paper game, and guess what? it's not the be all end all of everything, believe me, because that paper charade is going to fall apart like crazy. Actually, Lindsey Williams is correct in a general way. The paper world is basically going to fall apart, and it's the real world where you have tangible physical items is what's going to survive, and that's all there is to it. So, in the end game, it's what you could touch is actually going to be the things that are worth something, not the things that exist in electrons. But I want to point something else out, because you remember not that many weeks ago when price of silver was dropping, there was a major shortage of, the coins themselves. And the bottleneck, as I pointed out, was in the coins themselves. It was not in the production of silver globally and all this kind of garbage. There was a lot of people buying coins. There was record demand for coins and all this type of stuff. But that's only like one factor of what goes on in the entire market for silver. Silver's being affected like every other commodity out there, because there's actually low production of goods and services, especially in China, so the price is being pushed down. But lo and behold, the bottleneck was in coins, and look what happened. Here we're looking at Gainesville coins. I don't know if I could recommend this. I bought from these people before several times or more, and they've been good to me. So I don't know, I heard other things bad, I heard things good. So my personal thing with these people, I thought they were fine myself, but I don't know. I don't know what they are right now, but the thing is, all the coins that were out of stock before are in stock now. Now, this is a list of the 10 top coins from Gainesville Coins that are like the most popular. And a lot of people say these buffaloes are no damn good. Now, I personally don't see what's wrong with them, and I think they're very common, very recognizable. The Indian head with the buffalo on the reverse side, I think they're a nice looking coin, and you buy them for not much over spot. So, I don't know what the big deal is, what's wrong with them, because if a lot of people are buying them, I think when they go to be sold, there are going to be no problem selling them too. It's not an oddball coin. And, these are the 10 top designs, and actually most of them are not from regular mints. They're from, private mints. So you have the Buffalo, the Morgan Dollar design. That's a cool design. The Liberty Draped Bust design. That's a cool design. I like these too, these Walking Liberties. I like those. The Indian head design and Peace Dollar. It's a design. It's not actually a real minted coin by, the Chinese panda. And here, this is in the top 10, the American Silver Eagle. So, you notice that in the top 10 selling bestsellers in Gainesville Coins, they use a lot of private mints. So, you don't need to get nothing exotic or fancy or anything like that. I mean, it's, I want to point that out. But here, the bottleneck in coins, the supply has caught up into the coin market. Now, is it guaranteed that silver's going to go lower? You know what? I don't know. I can see I see a lot of analysis on gold, for instance, which is easier to predict than silver. And there are just people out there telling you could test the 13 something again and this and that in the low 13s and bounce off and it'll be a triple bottom and all this kind of garbage. You know what I say to that? You really, really, really don't know, and nobody knows. Nobody knows that's going to tell you on the internet. That is an absolute fact. But what we do have is, as we could pretty much get a good inkling of what's going to happen, is the economies in the world actually are crap. And as we're lounging around on our bikes here, chilling out, like old girl here, I just use this as a talking point because, what the hell. It's just a chill out speech here. But I'm going to tell you that it is a fact that the Chinese slowdown is much, much deeper than the Chinese are putting their numbers out on. It's actually much, much slower going on in China's industry. And it's reflected in not just silver prices and platinum prices and whatever. It's reflected across the board in all the commodities, even agricultural commodities, which is nuts with all the droughts they have out there. But copper prices will pretty much tell you over the last couple of years they've been dropping. That, a slow drop, not like to nothing, but it's actually telling you what's going on in the economy overall. And this is a major hint with Janet Yellen coming on board. This looks like it's a good bet. I don't think he's going to take Timmy Geithner. It's pretty much her name comes up most often. Also, she'll be the first woman Federal Reserve president, chairman, right? She'll be the first woman. That's another thing Obama will probably do it for. For that reason, it's another feather in his cap because he appointed a woman, right? So I mean, he ought to appoint this woman with the Harley. That's what I think. Or maybe Janet ought to get a Harley. That'll be kind of cool, she don't have a Harley here, whatever the hell this damn thing is. It's got a spare tire on it. I have no idea what this damn thing is. But anyway, here's one here. Shovelhead. But, this weed smoking chick here would be better than Janet Yellen. But, I don't think you really need anybody that has any brains to appoint the Federal Reserve. We just got to make hemp legal again. We solve the problems of the economy. It's actually that simple. It's very getting back to 101 because we could fuel our bikes with this hempoline and all this other type of stuff, and we could smoke it, and we don't really need money, right? But I have to, the thing is with Janet Yellen coming on board, remember, it was the anticipation of quantitative easing back in September of September 2012 that caused the prices of the metals to start jumping. It was like they all dumped in there before the fact, on the rumor itself. Remember that. So well before Janet Yellen is actually appointed to the chairman of the Federal Reserve, we're probably going to see a lot of spike in a lot of the commodities. Because basically it's like speculators jump in here upon rumor news, and that's exactly how the things work. And so, as our economy's sputtering along, she is going to actually, put some horsepower back in our economy through quantitative easing. And watch this dollar, this $50, go to a value of $1. Because basically, she's going to make Ben Bernanke look like nothing. And you know what? Let's not criticize her. I think she's fantastic. If she makes freaking silver go to $200, $500 an ounce or some crap like that, I think she's the best lady in the world. And she just might. So I just don't want anybody throwing stones at her like Errol the Silver Crowd was doing to Ben Bernanke. Because basically, when we did that, we shot ourselves in the foot. So when Janet comes out and she puts out all this QE and stuff like that, and the commodities start coming up again, let's praise her. Keep going, baby. Keep going. Keep that engine on that Harley running, baby. And keep the fires of the economy stoked just like you're lighting up this stogie. And guess what? We're all going to get rich. So Janet Yellen's going to maybe be our future hero. And Ben Bernanke looks like he's going to retire per like Obama's hints that he